Hi, how's everybody doing today? My name is John Cleotis, and I'm one of the animal ambassador trainers here at Turtleback Zoo. And here with me is my magnificent groundhog, Edwina. Good girl. So Edwina here is a very special member of the squirrel family. And she is actually the largest member of the squirrel family. Very confusing because she actually is not arboreal and does spend most of her time on the ground in large burrows. So one thing that makes these guys very different from a prairie dog are that prairie dogs are communal and they live in a large colony that have very intricate burrows. These guys actually are going to, These guys are actually going to be solitary, and the only way they're really going to come across another groundhog is during the mating season, or if their burrow happens to butt up next to another groundhog's burrow. So these guys do have burrowing systems. They're just not as complex. It's more of like a one big U or two underneath the ground. And that U is going to be their protection zone. Their burrow typically in their territory doesn't cover more than about an acre. So that is why you typically see one in your backyard. Your yard is pretty much the main area you might see a groundhog if you're living up here in New Jersey, unless you also see one crossing the road. So that's what I really wanted to talk to you guys about today. What do you do if you see an injured groundhog in your backyard or on the road? So these groundhogs, like Eddie, are a rabies vector species. So that means they do carry an illness that is fatal to humans. Because of that, if anybody from the public comes in contact with an injured rabies vector species, like a groundhog, the state is actually going to come in, and in order to test whether that animal has rabies or not, they're going to have to euthanize that animal. So if you're an avid animal lover, you see an injured groundhog in your backyard because your neighbor's dog might have nipped at its leg, or you see an injured groundhog on the side of the road and you'd like to help that groundhog, do not approach a rabies vector species in the wild. What you're going to do is you're going to want to look up the best number for your local Fish, Game, and Wildlife Service, and they will come out and they are specially trained to deal with situations like this with rabies vector species, and that is going to be the best chance for you guys to help a groundhog in the wild. So aside from some things of where we see groundhogs, I'll tell you a little bit about Eddie as an individual. So Eddie here is eating a little bit of rodent block here at Turtleback Zoo. She has a very balanced diet. Included in her diet are, aside from rodent block, are lettuce. She gets different types of kale, romaine, leafy greens, sweet potato, carrot, apple, and pear. But her absolute favorite one that she gets, and it'd be mine too, Eddie. Is her peanut. So she loves her peanuts. These guys can live anywhere from 5 to 8 years in the wild, dependent, and under human care they can live upwards of 10 and 12. You can see that she does have very different colors on her belly and her back. That is representative of her counter shading, and that is because their main predator are going to be red-tailed hawks and other large falcons that you're going to see flying above. Does anybody have any questions? No. Well, I hope you guys have. Oh yes, what's your question?
How old is Eddie?
How old is Eddie? That's a great question. So Eddie actually was a rehabilitated animal from the wild, and due to her amazing personality, she was deemed to be non-releasable. And due to that, we don't know when she was born, we don't know her age. Her estimated age that she came to Turtleback Zoo at was right around 6 months, and she's been here for about a year. So Miss Edwina is right at about 1.5 years old. Does anybody else have any other questions?
I'm a little kid, okay? How deep do they dig?
How deep do they dig? That's such a good question. So, groundhogs can dig as far of 10 to 12 feet into the ground. Typically, they don't go any deeper than about 12 feet. As you can tell, it'll be a lot of digging and a lot of work. And the farther down you go, the more hard that ground is. All right. Does anybody else have any questions about Edwina or what to do if you see a groundhog in the wild?
Why her teeth look like that?
That's a very good question, little Vi. So, Edwina is part of the rodent family, and all rodents are characterized by ever-growing incisors at the front of their teeth. So that's why chewing on wood and barked materials is very important for them, because that's how they're going to maintain their dental health. And if they don't have things to chew on, then they can have a hard time eating.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, well, I think that's it for our Groundhog's Day presentation. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Groundhog's Day. Ready to say bye to Miss Edwina?
Now, John, you know what cracked me up? I had to keep myself from not doing it, because on Groundhog Day, when you have her to get up and she eat her peanut, all I can hear is the crowd going, "Yay!" And I said, let me not do it, because I don't know what her reaction would be. So that's what was my thought, John. Because I did want to cheer, but I was going to hold back.